Compliant people don't need handcuffs.
Yes. It's a breach of code.
Do you want to give your take on what you've just witnessed?
A Section 35 dispersal order would have been way more commonsensical then. You tell someone to leave the area for a certain time period, and if they break that, then they get arrested. Arresting someone for being compliant, I don't know what he was doing.
Well, we just watched a couple's, well, the lady's hair. Was that your husband? He wasn't really doing anything. I just sort of came around the corner and then I saw two police officers target him.
Trying to get through the car. So we went over the fence and then we just got hold of Trevor and said, you know, what are you doing? And when he's looking up all this common law and saying, you know, what you're doing is wrong, and they thought that was good enough to arrest him.
They're using their powers not for good, I'm afraid. I mean, I'm an ex-policeman, so I know what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're basically just saying everything that they've been taught to say, but they're not taking into consideration that you don't need to handcuff a compliant person
And then he wouldn't
whose details you have. But every policeman, because I know I used to do it, you make excuses, but
he's not given his
there was
name,
absolutely no need for that man to be handcuffed. There's no need for them to go to custody.
Have you been following the protest today?
Yes.
So what's your take on the police behaviour and how they've conducted
Today,
themselves?
it's not as bad as it used to be, but
Well, I think they tried to split us up.
yeah, they do that. They do that a lot because it's their tactics.
They arrested Santa Claus, so then all the police went round Santa Claus, and then another load of police came and divided the people, you know, and sending us all down dead ends.
I feel embarrassed to have been a police officer sometimes.
Till then.
I feel embarrassed to have been a police officer sometimes.
Till then.
I feel embarrassed to have been a police officer sometimes.
Where the violence comes from.
I think it's quite difficult you can see a lot of police officers don't really agree with the actions that are being carried out, and they will...
I think if they agreed with what was happening, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. They would take off their helmets and walk with us.
No, they wouldn't, because they're wage slaves. They're wage slaves. Because they'll lose their job. I've spoken to policemen who I used to work with, and they say, well, I have to do it, otherwise, you know, I'll get a disciplinary, you get disciplinaries, you lose your job. And they're wage slaves. What do they do then? How do they pay rent? So that's how they get you.
People who are out of work at the moment are in the same boat, aren't they?
Yeah,
they can't
absolutely.
pay their rent, and that's what we're fighting for.
Yeah.
And the police should be seeing that. They should be on our side and fighting with us, not against us.
Unfortunately, they're not trained to use their brain anymore.
It's beyond me how they can be so nasty.
But it's not bad. They get taken to custody. You sit in a room for a bit. You read a book. You have a bit of food. You do a no-comment interview, and then you go home.
Yeah, I know. But today they were barging people. You know, it's just not pleasant to see.
No, very not.
Do you think they're going to take him to the police station, your husband?
There's a triage. Wherever that is, it's in a van up there, I should imagine, one of those blue vans. But if he's stubborn, he's not going to say.
It didn't look like he was going to give in his details, so.
He's not in there 24 hours yet, because he's not going to give anything.
Yeah. So what's your plan? Are you going to go home? Or are you going to wait?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much point really. It's been split up, isn't it?
I don't know where the rest of them have gone. I think they've gone to Buckingham Palace.
Headed that way somewhere.
So I'll find it again, won't I?
Yeah. Well, look after yourself. I know they obviously gave you like a little bit of a warning, so just
Yeah,
keep.
do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. Goddess Nut.
Okay.
But
I was, and they moved us on.
A few people and somebody in a very nice suit.
and I saw him in a suit, and I was like, okay, are they going to try and arrest you?
I wear it because they arrested me.
Okay.
If I'm going to be arrested, then I'll be arrested looking smart.
That's
I usually wear my beret and my medals, but I'm not wearing them today.
Yeah.
But there were so many police at King's Cross, because that's where it was lit up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They were just so...
I mean, you can see them even just down there.
Thousands of them. So it was obviously they were there to stop it happening, and that's why it all got changed to a different place.
But again, they've caused, by their actions to me, it's caused more mayhem in the city, which just costs them more money rather than, okay, cool, let's just, if they're going to come out and protest.
Trafalgar Square or King's Cross Concourse, where we're off the roads, it'd be great, but they intend to move
Dispersed
on.
now, haven't they?
I think so. I don't know where.
They've got stock. Everyone's getting stocked up there.
I think a lot of them have moved up to Buckingham Palace.
Tried to get that way anyway.
Oh,
Okay, the Section 35 thing isn't working. I asked the inspector, I said, surely it'd be more common sensible to 35.
Oh, please look after.
Very kindly told me which way to go.
I know, but just look after yourself, okay? I'm so sorry for that, you know.
Oh well, he was adamant, wasn't he?
Well,
He wasn't. He's not going to give his name. No way.
well, this is the thing. He doesn't have to. He hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't broken any laws. And I've already got it documented where the police are saying if you're going to protest, do it in twos. You guys were in twos, but yet they're still arresting you or splitting you
They
off.
asked me what I was up here for, and I said I've come out for a walk. Oh, have you pots and pans? It's obvious that you're on a protest.
I mean, I just think to people just say I'm here to protest, which is my human rights. It's your
Yes,
legal
yeah.
right to protest,
Yeah.
and what they're doing here is basically censoring people from having their freedom of speech
Yes.
and freedom to assembly.
Yeah.
And if we're living in a state where that is happening, then we're under a dictatorship.
Yes.
You can't even just walk. You know, look how many people here are walking right now.
Yeah.
How do you know who to pick and who not to?
Yeah.
It's beyond me. I think anyone who looks like they're really protesting, they just go for it. So unfortunately, you guys have pots and pans.
Your bucket got a hole in it, fellas. Let me tell you how you get checked. When your kisses fail to move her, and your rap don't seem to groove her, when your touch don't turn her on, fellas, as sure as you're born, your bucket got a hole in it. Huh, your bucket got a hole in it. Ooh, Lord, got a hole in it. Huh. You better check your bucket. You better check your bucket. You better check your bucket. I mean, do a good check on it. 'Cause let me tell you something. Everybody needs a love bucket like mine. But a goody love bucket is so doggone hard to find. 'Cause up, down, all around, satisfaction, that's what I get now. From side to side, every twist and slide, goodness, and I'm talking about good. Fellas don't come faking, like old man took it. She didn't check to see if she had a hole in her bucket. You better check your 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 bucket. Ooh, do 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 do. Huh. Gong 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 gong. From every side to side, every twist and slide, I get good. Check your bucket. Check your bucket. Check your bucket. Check your bucket.